Hey everyone, I wanted to go live and talk about my breakfast essentials and some tips on breakfast and some of the things that I eat for breakfast and how I meal plan or meal prep for breakfast. This has kind of been evolving into part of a series, all because you guys voted and you wanted to see more nutrition tips or things about nutrition. So today I'm going to talk about, again, breakfast essentials. I honestly think, I know it's cliche, but it really is the most important meal of the day because it sets you up for the rest of the day. If you eat something sugary or fatty, you're going to crave sugary and fatty things because your body doesn't need sugary, fatty, salty things in the morning. So it gets no nutrients from that. Because it gets no nutrients from that, you're going to be starving quicker and later throughout the day because you didn't start off the right way. It's not because you're just starving later. It's really because you didn't start your morning the right way. So I highly suggest that you start with carbs, protein, and sometimes I eat a fruit, but I like to save that for my mid-morning snack in between breakfast and lunch. So I also, right when I wake up in the morning after I brush my teeth, wash my face, I start with 8 to sometimes 20 ounces of cold water. This is also important because it helps your digestive system get flowing. You are actually dehydrated when you wake up in the morning, and if you pour yourself a mug of coffee, you're going to dehydrate yourself even further. So it's so important to get that cold water in before you drink your coffee or your tea because you are dehydrated when you wake up. It helps get your metabolism going as well if it's cold water, so make sure it's cold water. Over time, you'll realize you do actually feel a lot better when you get that first big glass of water done in the morning. Whenever I skip that or I forget about it, I realize sometimes I haven't even drinking water all day. So I also make sure I bring a tumbler of water to school with me, but things get busy and I go to leave from school and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even drink any water since I've been here. So I'm glad I got that, 8 to 20 ounces in the morning. And I'm sure a lot of you probably experience that too. So it's so good for your body. I can't tell you how much better you feel just by getting that little bit of water in your system. And my hair is gonna bug me. Oh, it's starting to stick up in the back. Oh well. So I like to do oats. I don't know if any of you are oatmeal fan or you like overnight oats, but I do. I don't drink or eat the oats cold the next morning. Some people do. I have not liked that. I just like everything all prepared and ready to go in the mornings. That's why I do it. It's more tedious to me to wake up every morning throughout the work week and measure the oats, pour the oats, measure the milk, pour the milk, measure the water, pour the water, mix it all in a bowl and put it in the microwave. I'd rather mix everything together in a jar and have it ready to go the morning of, so it's less thinking time and a lot faster. So I have mason jars with lids and I just pour a half cup of oats in each one, half cup of milk of choice. I love unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I get mine from Trader Joe's, but it doesn't matter as long as it's unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And literally, the ingredients are very limited. There's no extra odd stuff in it. I get unsweetened vanilla because if you get vanilla almond milk, that's actually has added sugar in it. If you get unsweetened, there's no added sugar in it. I like the vanilla flavor of the almond milk versus regular almond milk. So I do a half cup of that, half cup of water, and then sprinkle in some spices. My go-to is cinnamon. And I mix it up and I just have 5 jars ready to go. That literally only takes not even 5 minutes to get those ready for the whole week. And it saves a ton of time and thinking time in the mornings during the work week. So I just put them in the fridge. And then the morning of, I'll just take the lid off, heat it up in the microwave for 2 minutes. Or if I don't want to eat it out of the jar, because it's a little awkward to eat oats out of a jar, I'll just pour the oat mixture into a bowl and then I heat up the oats that way for 2 minutes. And then I love having a spoonful of peanut butter after I heat it up and mixing it into the oats. So that's my usual. If I didn't have time to prepare overnight oats for some reason, or I just forgot about it, which happens, I'm not perfect, I always make sure over the weekends that we have bread on hand, and we always buy whole wheat bread. We also make sure we buy, it's a bonus if you buy organic bread as well, that's whole wheat, or you buy sprouted bread. Sprouted bread has more nutrients and sometimes more protein in it, so that's why we like getting sprouted bread. It tastes no different than like a whole wheat bread. I prefer whole wheat because it keeps you satiated over a longer period of time. When you buy white bread, it's usually more processed than whole wheat bread. And yeah, just whole wheat those are more complex carbs that'll keep you fuller longer throughout the day. So that's why I like whole wheat way better for you. Make sure when you buy bread as well that there is no high fructose corn syrup in it. This is known as a cancer-causing ingredient. It's processed. It's a fake ingredient that people add to foods to make foods last longer, and it's very, very common in bread. It's actually very hard for me when I love going to Trader Joe's because they don't have it in there. I don't think they have anything at Trader Joe's. But I hate going to Kroger sometimes because almost all of their breads have high fructose corn syrup. It's very hard to find bread without it unless you see that the label says no high fructose corn syrup in it. Be careful too if it says that it has corn syrup solids in the ingredients label. Corn syrup solids are like the same thing. Just corn is a GMO, genetically modified ingredient, organism, sorry. So that means it's been modified a lot over time, and it's just a highly processed thing now. So that's why I stress getting organic bread, just as a bonus. Especially if there's like corn in your bread, in the ingredients somewhere. I also like to have shredded wheat cereal on hand, not the frosted shredded wheat cereal. I know that's like my favorite. Just because that's more added sugar to your breakfast. You're going to be hungry later if you get the frosted shredded wheat. So I know that makes shredded wheat not as palatable because it's just plain, it's literally plain shredded wheat. But I love that about that cereal because that's all the ingredient says. It just says wheat. Like, that's amazing. It's very rare to find a cereal that has that limited amount of ingredients, so that's why I love it. You can I like adding cinnamon to it. I know it looks weird with the milk, but it actually adds more flavor to it, and it's really good. You could probably add honey to it if you want something to make it sweeter. I would much more prefer you add your own natural sugars to your cereal or anything that you make ever, because it's way better than white sugar that's been processed. When you add honey or maple syrup, that's natural sugars, it's way better. It might have a higher sugar content in grams when you look at the nutrition label, but natural is always better. Like, I think you're doing your body will just, I don't know, to me it's just better for your body when you have more natural things. So I hope you enjoyed my Breakfast Essentials edition of my little series I've got going of nutrition tips and things like that. If anything stuck with you, or if you have any questions about breakfast or meal planning breakfast, things like that I talked about, please send me a comment below or send me a direct message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you want to know more tips or if you have more questions about anything food related, about lunch and meal planning for lunch, about my dinners that I eat, or anything that I talked about today, high fructose corn syrup, maybe you want to know what kind of bread that we buy, what oats that we buy, let me know as well. See you later.